Greetings, travelers, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Golden Sun: The Lost Age, presented by Draco Breach, and our final confrontation with Dullahan. I went out, and I grinded, and I made sure that this would be well prepared for. I am quickly going to go over stats and a general idea of how much damage my team should be doing in this fight, but keep in mind that there can be damage rolls and there can be the fact that Dullahan, his defenses and his resistances may come into play, and I may have calculated some of the power settings slightly incorrectly, but I'm not 100% because I'm not 100% sure that I got the right calculations. But beside the point. First of all, we have Isaac from the first Golden Sun, and of course in this one, and he is in my party, and he will be staying. This is the first group versus Dullahan, basically. Isaac is equipped with the Soul Blade, Warrior's Helm, Riot Gloves, Valkyrie Mail, Hyper Boots, and Mithril Shirt. This gives him the second highest unleash rate that he can have. The highest unleash rate that he can have is 97%, and that is replacing the Warrior's Helm with the Mithril Helm. I have not rolled a Mithril Helm yet, unfortunately, from the necessary ore. Anyway, he is going to be level 78, and his base stats are on screen. His stats with his equipment are on screen, and his stats as a Slayer are also on screen. What this basically means is that with his Soul Blade, before Dullahan's resistance is calculated, should be doing in the neighborhood of 1800. It should have a power of about 1800 in his most basic class, and around 2500 in his Slayer class. So he can do a boatload of damage whenever Megiddo goes off. His stats are very heavily. You can see basically where his stats lie. He is an attacker, and that is what he is designed to do. He is designed to attack. Other classes may change that up, and we'll go into classes at a later date. Mainly because I want to have a dedicated episode for that. And like I said before, I don't really like going into the Dullahan fight with the special classes because of his because of a combination of Jin Storm and Elemental Swap, which can mean that it can take a really long time for you to get back up to full power. Anyway, next on the dock is Garrett, who is going to be level 77. You see his base stats, his stats with his equipment, and his stats as a hero. He is going to have the Tisiphone Edge, Fear Helm, Cosmos Shield, Chronos Mail, Hyper Boots, and Running Shirt equipped for this battle. Tisiphone Edge actually, at its lowest damage roll, does less damage than the Dark Sword, but at its highest damage roll, does more damage than the Dark Sword. Technically, Excalibur is more powerful for Garrett, but again, I have not rolled a second one, and just in case I needed to swap out to my other party, I wanted Excalibur on Felix. But Garrett should be doing anywhere from 426, should have a power rating of anywhere between 427 and around 1700. So he has a decent damage range. And he's also kind of my defensive character here, although surprisingly, okay, to explain something, Charon, the summon that Durandal likes to use, has the effect of instant kill. So it can instantly kill anybody it hits. Garrett gets instant killed by Charon multiple times in this fight. It's not even funny. But yeah. So that's that. He is much more defensively built. Because normally I would not have the Cosmos Shield on him, I would have the Riot Gloves on him, so that he's unleashing more often. Anyway, next up is going to be Mia, our resident healer. You will see her stats, her base stats, her stats with equipment, and her stats as an angel. She is going to have the Atropos Rod, Psychic Circlet, Jester's Armlet, Iris Robe, Quick Boots, and Golden Shirt equipped. The Atropos Rod does not have a great power rating, but as you can see, it has a power rating of 396 in her base form, base class, and around 550 in her angel class. So it does pretty decently. She is definitely the healer, and she suffers probably the most from Jin Storm, because she's reduced to using either items or using ply. Now, just as a quick note, the Mist Potion that you see me using throughout this battle after Jin Storm can be purchased in procs. So if you need Mist Potions, and I strongly recommend them for this fight, go to procs. You can literally just buy them. I was able to buy, I think, in the neighborhood of 70, somewhere around there. I already had a lot of them, and I ended up with, no, I definitely bought more than 70. Probably bought around 100. I ended up with 114, with 30 on Mia, 30 on Isaac, 30 on Garrett, 30 on Ivan. Not 30 on Ivan, 24 on Ivan. So I was a little short to purchase the maximum amount of 30 per character, but that didn't end up mattering too much. My main purpose of Mia's build was to make sure that she had enough speed to outrun Dullahan's 250 agility, but at the same time had plenty of PP recovery so that she could just, whenever she was in Angel class or in a class that had the Wish series, she could just constantly wish, or if she wasn't in Angel class, she could throw out Mist Potions. Anyway, next up is Ivan. You see his base stats, his stats with equipment, and his sorcerer stats. He had the Tisiphone Edge, Berserker Band, Riot Gloves, Mithril Clothes, Hyper Boots, and Mithril Shirt equipped. Earlier I said that the Berserker Band was a worse Riot Gloves, and that is not entirely true, because Berserker Band are actually a worse Mithril Helm. I can't remember. I don't think Ivan can equip the Mithril Helm, unfortunately, so the Berserker Band is probably the best thing that he can have. I can look that up easily enough anyway, so that doesn't much matter. But his whole orientation is to have high enough unleash rate that he's able to get vengeance off repeatedly, while at the same time still having the necessary PP to cast high impact whenever possible. And that was one of my main goals, is keeping impact up on the characters as much as possible. I do cast resist a few times through the battle, but I do eventually just give up on that idea. But Ivan is the last of this party, so let's move on to my backup party, who unfortunately does not actually get to see battle against Dullahan this time around. Anyway, first up is Jenna, level 68. You can tell that there are quite a few levels behind, but that was because I was concentrating on getting Isaac and his crew as high level as possible. While technically Ivan does more damage because of his affinity with wind with the Tisiphone Edge, Jenna is still not a slouch. And actually, I did not say what Ivan's damage ratio, power ratings were. His power rating is anywhere from 475 in his base 475 to 1400 in his base, to 900 to almost 3000 in his sorcerer class. Now, admittedly, power and attack, it's really weird to go over because technically Garrett should always do more damage than Ivan, even though the power rating for Ivan is higher. It's weird. Damage calculations, like I said, can be interesting. Anyway, Jenna is equipped with the Tisiphone Edge, Crown of Glory, Riot Gloves, Triton's Ward, Dragon Boots, Trident, and Mithril Shirt. Basically, her build is based around PP recovery and frequent unleashes. She would not be attacking as often as anyone else on her party, but she can hit harder than she can heal because Aura is not nearly as good as Wish. But that's entirely beside the point. Next up is going to be Felix, who is going to be level 69 in this instance. He is equipped with Excalibur, Thorn Crown, Riot Gloves, Aranius Shirt, Tunic, Hyper Boots, and Running Shirt. The Excalibur gives him a power rating that's pretty decent, anywhere in his base form from 480 to about 1400, and in his Slayer class, either about 600 or 1800, based on if you get the 1x or 3x roll for Excalibur. Again, his is more, he's based around the idea of unleashing as often as possible, because Excalibur has a very high power rating among weapons, so it's a very good idea to make sure that he can unleash as often as possible. Next up is going to be Piers. He is going to have the Tisiphone Edge, Minerva Helm, Riot Gloves, Ashura's Armor, Quick Boots, and Running Shirt equipped. And yes, I found at least 4 Tisiphone Edges while I was grinding. It's kind of hilarious. I also found at least 3 Berserker, what are they called? Berserker bands. So I got decently lucky. Not great luck, but decent luck. Piers' power rating with the Tisiphone Edge in his base class is anywhere from about 350 to about 1000, and in his Admiral class anywhere from about 550 to about 1600. So he can dish out a pretty decent amount of damage. The Admiral class is not a great class, honestly, and it makes me wish that it sometimes makes me wish that Durandal could be easily handled by some of the advanced classes, but that Jin Storm really is as scary as it sounds. As you can see by how often I die once he actually activates it. Or whenever you use Sharon. Bye-bye, Garrett, again. Yes, I am watching this, so... Anyway, last up but not least important is Sheba, another one who likes to cast high impact a lot. Now, unfortunately, because she is not as much of an attacker as Ivan is, she's more focused on PP recovery and using resist and high impact as often as possible. She has the Atropos Rod, Clarity Circlet, Aerial Gloves, Aeolian Cossack, Leather Boots, Guardian Ring, and Silk Shirt equipped. So, there's that about her. Yeah, so that is my party and what they look like at this point in the game, after some grinding and preparing. And trust me when I say that level 77 is not overkill. In fact, a lot of the a lot of the strategies that you'll find are based on what level you are, and there's even a written out strategy for a full level 99 team. And the hilarious thing is, I was reading over that strategy, and it's like, this is a battle of attrition. Use mist potions a lot. Yeah, I'm summarizing it. It was a little more detailed than that, but it basically came down to that. It is a war of attrition. And honestly, Durandal saying that it's a war of attrition to fight him is absolutely correct. He can wear you down. He can lay out curses, haunts, and I really haven't explained haunting. Haunt has a random chance to do damage to your character whenever they take an action, and the damage is based on a multiplier. It does a certain minimum damage, and it has, but its maximum damage is, I think, a percentage of the damage that you deal to a character. Like, for example, Garrett, I don't know if he's done it already. I wasn't paying that close attention for some odd reason. I don't know if he's done it already or if it happens a little bit later. Oh wait, this bat, never mind. It definitely happened earlier. But he was haunted and he attacked Durandal for a huge amount of damage and got a backlash of 200 back through Haunt. So yeah, Haunt can be dangerous. The curse, where you die after, I think it's 7 turns, that can seem a lot worse, but it's not that bad, honestly, because it doesn't decrease your stats, it doesn't do random damage to you, you just die after a certain number of turns, and you can be pretty easily revived. So yeah, that's Durandal in a heartbeat right there. He is scary. He deals a ton of damage. He takes so long to kill, and he is menacing. Do not take him lightly. I have never gone into the fight against him taking him lightly. I have always been pretty well prepared. I think and there you go, he's down. I think the first time I beat him, I used the summon rush just because I didn't really want to deal with it. I have used the Ronin strategy, as some people call it, where you go in with a team of advanced classes, a team full of advanced class characters who are specially suited towards attacking, such as the Ronin class, which is the highest attack possibility in the game. And I was just showing you there how much my resources were drained in that fight, as far as like mist potions and waters of life. So, yeah, that is what happened, and that was Durandal, easily the scariest boss in the game. And with that, we'll return to Contigo. This will be Draco Breach reporting out. God bless, and safe travels. Also, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. There will be 1, maybe 2 more episodes after this going over classes. Farewell.